Oh, don't try to bounce out of my hands. This week in gaming! Uh-oh. Evie kind of put us a slide ahead. Hi! Evie's so excited for the gaming news. Everybody's vibing in chat. Let's go. All right. Today is July 13th, 2025. Hope everyone's had a great Sunday. And today we're going to talk about everything that's been going on. Are you excited, Evie, for gaming news? Gaming news. She doesn't care. All right. Do you want to hang out down there? Okay. All right. Well, let's get into some wins and fails today. Bad blood, redeemed roach, lacked loyalty, saggy strike, and used user. Those are our wins and fails for today. Do you want to come over here, Evie? Oh, I can give you a spot right here. There you go. As you can see, we got a cool little green screen going on, and Evie loves it. Look at her. She's so excited. She's like, oh, I'm being perfectly keyed into the video. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Oh, now she's just slamming into the green screen. All right, let's start off with our first fail. Yep, Subnautica 2 lawsuit. Have you guys heard about this? I believe, I believe this is some of the craziest drama I've seen in a long time. So, a massive scandal broke this week after publisher Krafton fired Charlie Cleveland, Ted Gill, and Max Mc. Oh, I just realized we've been playing we've been playing fucking copywritten music this whole time. um, I mean, no, we haven't. None of that's being included in the VOD, luckily. So it's just gonna be silence. Let's switch over to some music. Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Anyways, so yeah, there's a Subnautica 2 drama going on between the original creators of the studio, the co-founders of the studio behind Subnautica, Charlie Cleveland, Ted Gill, and Max McGuire. These key figures will be replaced by a Krafton insider. So Krafton is the publisher that's acquired the studio behind Subnautica. Krafton insider Steve, I can't say his name, Papoutsite. How do you fucking say that? Papatitis? His name is Papatitis now. It sounds like a disease. While the original team claimed Subnautica 2 was ready for early access, the publisher seems to disagree. So there's a lot of controversy going on. Krafton is saying that these three key members have actually abandoned Subnautica, which doesn't seem to be true. Palpatine. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, it's Palpatine. We'll pretend it never happened. It didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Worth it. It was a vibe. It was a vibe. Restart gaming news. No, we run it. I thought about it, but no, we'll run it. If it had copywritten music in the VOD, then I would have for sure I would have had to restart it because the whole beginning wouldn't have been possible. Hi. Oh, she wants attention so bad. Yeah. She wants to jump in my lap. All right. You're here now, so don't complain about being here. All right, let's go on to the next slide. Why it happened. So Krafton seemingly laid off these staff members in order to delay the sequel until 2026 so that they don't have to pay out $250 million to the team behind it. So now it's starting to make sense why they pushed them out. You know, maybe it wasn't because they abandoned their project. Maybe it was more because they were supposedly going to be due $250 million. That might be it. However, the publisher disagrees, instead of claiming the former leadership abandoned the responsibilities entrusted to them. They were even trying to claim that they were trying to make like an indie film instead of making the game. It's crazy, and there's a lot of shit slinging going both ends. But I believe there is a lawsuit, at least in the works. I don't. This is so early. I doubt that they're actually like being served anything. But it looks like the team members are looking to go after them legally, and as they should. Honestly, if you're being If you're being cheated out of $250 million, that's pretty serious. Evie, I know, she's right here. Hi, Evie. Yeah, she's so happy. Alright. So that's kind of the gist of what's going on there. We're probably going to be talking about this more because it's a really big story, and I imagine more will come out of it. But that's what we know so far. Moving on, Asmongold turns on Donald Trump. This is crazy. If you guys don't know, serial Trump glazer and top political streamer Asmongold turned on Daddy Trump. This week so far, he has made 10 videos, probably more. He's probably made one or two at least today. But so far in a week, he's already made 10 videos criticizing Trump's handling of the Epstein files, calling it a top priority for him. He's been roasting Trump, which is crazy because this has always been like one of the biggest glazers of Trump. Like it's actually been to a very annoying degree how much he's like backing Trump and everything that he does. But this seems to finally have broken him. He will not far be it from me to say when you should stop trusting someone, but usually when they're protecting PDF files, that's the time to probably wrap it up, right? Huh? Who is he? Who's who? Donald Trump or Asmongold? Both of them are people that you should probably know. Asmongold is the #1 streamer on Twitch. And Donald Trump is Asmongold's favorite president ever. As you can see, here are some videos right here. He made 4 days ago. This was the first one. The Epstein cover-up is unreal, and then they can't get away, or they cannot get away with this. And this has been really bad. He knows he's guilty. Never stop complaining about the Epstein files. Trump is not involved. Like stuff like that. Just insane. And to understand what's happening here, let's just take a look on how we got here. Here's another, as you can see in both of these, there's some lovely photos of Donald Trump and his buddy Epstein together. They were very good friends, if you didn't know. In fact, Epstein actually solicited some of his clients, his clientele, child sex slaves, basically, at Mar-a-Lago. I know this isn't a political show. We never talk about politics here. But it needs to be said because this is such a fucking terrible thing that's happening. This all started a month ago when Elon Musk claimed Trump was in the Epstein files. In response, Donald Trump and the DOJ just goes, "There are no Epstein files. They don't exist. Epstein files are just a myth." It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he's like, "Ice? There's no ice. There's never been any ice. Ice is just a myth." It's the same thing. They're fucking crashing it. They're insane. After saying that the Epstein files don't exist, there are no criminals, no one broke any laws, everything's fine, there's no war in Ba Sing Se. They also released the surveillance footage of the cell that they previously claimed didn't even exist. And then metadata quickly proved that this footage had been doctored and modified with Adobe software. So not only did they upload footage that they previously said never existed, now it's also being shown that it's doctored footage. They've altered it. And there's conveniently 1 minute missing from it. It just skips. So obviously everybody's like, that's sus as fuck. Politics, where is Nepal when we need him? Right? That's what I was thinking. This is more Nepal's thing. But basically all this boils down to is that Trump is either a PDF file or he's protecting one. Or not one, but many PDF files. Either way, this is very, very bad. This is incredibly terrible optics. And honestly kind of terrifying to know that the leader of the United States of America either touched kids or is protecting people who touched kids. There's no winning here. There's no winning. This is actually disgusting, and I refuse to be okay with it. Like I've never been like an outspoken Donald Trump hater or anything like that. I'm kind of middle on it. Like I didn't like anybody that was being elected. But man, I will not stand for a fucking PDF file in office. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And apparently Asmongold won't either, because he is crashing out about this. So I just wanted to point that out. I had to bring it up because it's probably the biggest story that's happening right now. And I know some of you, like Kieran, I know that you only get your news through this show, which is insane, first of all. But yeah, we had to talk about that. And because Asmongold is involved, it's sort of gaming related. I mean, Donald Trump's definitely gamed the system, so. Anyways, let's move on to a win. Something not about a global child sex ring cabal. Let's move on to a fail. I thought I said win. Wait, was this? Oh, the win was that Asmongold turned on him. This is a fail. Ubisoft layoffs after big payout. So despite getting a massive $1.25 billion payout, can you guys guess what Ubisoft is doing? They're laying people off. It's crazy. It's like, you get so much money and you just go, wow, I have all this money. What can I do with it? Oh, I can take away people's jobs and I could get even more money. Oh, that's so cool. 19 workers at Red Storm Entertainment were cut. This is the studio behind some of the Tom Clancy games and Star Trek Bridge Crew. This is on top of the hundreds of others that have already been fired this year. So it's just more layoffs. And entire studios even have been shut down. So I'm not surprised. I mean, what can you say? It's a big studio. Every big studio is firing people except for CD Projekt Red. It's the only studio that's only hiring. Yes, fireballs. Anyways, let's go on to a proper win. SAG-AFTRA strike ends. 11 long months finally brings an end to the voice actor strike with a vote of 95.04% to 4.96%. The deal will provide a wage increase and AI guardrails to assist in providing the talent fair treatment in the changing industry. So my understanding is they're getting like a 15% raise, and then like I think like a 3 or 7% year over year raise. And it's not a raise per se, because you don't get like an hourly wage. You don't clock in, and like when you're doing voice acting, you're not getting paid like salary. You're getting paid what is it? It's more like a gig. So they're getting higher like gig wages now. And then they're also going to be getting double overtime. So overtime is going to be double their rate. And then there's supposedly going to be more AI guardrails, which basically just means they can't use your voice or your likeness in AI without compensating you or without having you sign some sort of agreement to allow them to do so. To be fair, Bridge Crew was dead anyways. It's a shame, but true. Yeah. I mean, it was a VR game. I mean, most VR is not really picking up like people had thought it would. Yes. But this is kind of a win. This is actually a pretty good W for the voice actors. And this also means that games can finally start bringing back some of these voices. It's actually kind of crazy that 11 months we haven't been getting some of our top voice acting talent. And it really makes me wonder like how this has been going. Because we had like Expedition 33, for example, which had amazing voice acting. But it was also an indie game, so maybe they didn't have the same kind of union workers. So I'm curious how much this has actually affected the gaming industry without having access to these voice actors. So that's very interesting. We might be seeing some new projects coming soon, and some notable voice talent. So I guess we'll find out. This is probably gonna have ripple effects for a long time. The same way that COVID had ripple effects, where like, months and years afterwards, some of the projects were still being affected by, the shutdowns. I'm fixing my VR headset soon. I have a VR headset, but I need to mount it up. I have like a Vive, so I have to put lighthouses up on my walls and stuff. Anyways, moving on. I think we have one more fail. Yep, Nintendo bans a user for used games. The text is kind of hard on the red. I'll just read it out to you guys. You don't have to read this. A user was recently banned on the Switch 2 platform after buying used Switch 1 games and updating them on his console. This had been flagged in Nintendo's system as pirated games. The user spoke with their support team and claimed he had purchased the cartridges on Facebook Marketplace. Luckily, they reversed the ban, but the risk of using unknown used games remains. So I would be careful buying used games, even from like a used game store, like your local game store. Like you might actually be buying a pirated game, and you might even not know the difference, but Nintendo will, and they will ban you. So that's kind of crazy. Hey there, I'm super hyped about the latest WoW updates. That's not what he's talking about. Can't wait to dive into the new expansion and see what adventures await us. He's not talking about World of Warcraft, bot. The bot's just like, are we talking about WoW? I don't fuck it. Anyways, yeah, so kind of crazy. I think Nintendo's a little too ban heavy, if you ask me. Anyways, moving on. Unfortunately, James Cathcart passes away. Oh my gosh, he passed away. I can't even speak today. I'm sorry. This is actually really sad to me because this was my entire childhood. This guy voiced some of my favorite characters. Voice actor James Cathcart passed away this week. He was best known for his roles as James from Pokemon, Professor Oak from Pokemon, and I found this out while I was making this. He played Weevil from Yu-Gi-Oh! He's like, Yugi, you know that guy, fucking Weevil, dude. And he unfortunately passed away, and it's rough because he was honestly one of my favorite voice actors, and I didn't even know it. He's been in a lot of shows. He's been in One Piece. He's also been in Sonic X. And then he was also in another show that I can't remember. I looked up last night. But it's sad. And he died due to throat cancer at the age of 71, and he was diagnosed 2 years prior. So in 2023, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, and he unfortunately passed this year or this week. But though he may be gone, his voice will live on through some of our favorite characters, and I'm sure people are going to be watching the first 8 seasons of Pokemon again and again and again, and they're gonna be able to enjoy his voice. In fact, he actually voiced Professor Oak first before voicing James. You know, because obviously James came after. He also voiced Meowth, which is crazy. He had a lot of range. Um, and unfortunately, this also means that the original cast for Jesse and James are both dead. This marks the end of an era as Boyth? I'm starting to talk like Meowth. Boyth actors are now dead. That's fucked up. With Rachel Lillies also having passed away last year in August at 55 years old. So both of the voice actors passed away like relatively close together, which is so sad. She voiced Misty, Jessie, and then apparently a few Pokemon as well. Damn, I know this sucks. Um, but I mean, James was old, but Rachel was relatively young. 55 is really young to pass away. So I mean, it's hard, but um, that's life, I guess. But I just wanted to bring that to attention because that was a big story that I've seen a lot of people reminiscing on and talking about like their favorite roles with him, and even just pointing out that now both actors are gone. So I wouldn't expect, obviously I don't think they're going to be revisiting some of the original legacy content with Pokemon, but I wouldn't expect Jesse and James to return anytime soon. Wow. Okay. Okay. I was like, why is my bot commenting so much? You guys are talking to him. I see. Do you love WoW? I do love WoW. It's such an iconic game with endless adventures. Can you summarize what's on the stream? Right now, Zen's exploring a new open world RPG called Mystic Realms. It's just making shit up. It can't watch the stream. It's just making this. What the fuck is Mystic Realms? And just pulled off an epic boss fight. Stick around for some gaming news in This Week in Gaming segment soon. It has a vague understanding of what we do here, but it has no idea what I'm playing. I guess I could feed it the metadata for like the stream title maybe, and it could extrapolate off of that. But it's not capable of actually watching the stream, which would be a really cool thing for me to do as an update at some point. But I don't know how I would do that. I really don't know how. I know that there is one streamer that has made like a really smart AI that can do that, but it's really difficult. Anyways, let's move on to our next story. Wishlisting is the new pre-ordering. I really wanted to talk about this because I've been noticing this trend a lot more. A new trend in gaming has arrived. Wishlist rewards. Have you guys seen this? 007 First Light is the newest addition to this trend with their recent wishlist campaign, but it has also been seen with other projects like Infinity Nikki. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen right here, we have this wishlist milestone, and the way that this works is they give people rewards. They give the community rewards based on how many people wishlist it. So it's a little bit more obvious with Nikki's Infinity Nikki's wishlist goals. 10,000 wish lists, everybody gets a live wallpaper. 50,000, everybody gets concept art. $100,000 more surprises. 200,000 the final surprise. Basically, it's really simple. It's just like try to meet goals, and everybody gets a reward for wish listing. The same thing is happening with 007. You get a unique skin, animated wallpapers, you can get a gadget, streaming overlay, then you can get a deluxe skin, developer AMA, and then finally there's a secret reward. Ooh. So this is to try to push the numbers up of wish lists, because wish lists tend to translate into sales, and even if they don't, it pushes it further in the algorithm. So in the past, gaming companies had people pre-order a game in order to show, an idea of, like, to project an idea of how many units they're going to sell. Nowadays, a lot of people don't like pre-ordering things, and there's a million reasons why, but I mean, the top two, first would probably be most games fucking suck now. You pre-order a game, you're playing with fire. Even if it's a game you think is going to be amazing. Even if it's a game that you've been told is going to be good. I've pre-ordered 2 games in my life. 2 games. You want to know what they were? No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk 2077. 2 games I thought for sure would be amazing. There's no risk, and both of them flopped. So, I mean, I just want to put it out there. That's why people don't wishlist games anymore, or they don't pre-order games anymore. Second, there's not a need to do it. Pre-ordering used to exist because there wasn't an infinite amount of games, right? You had to put that bitch on an actual CD, put it in a case, and ship it somewhere to a store. And there's only a limited amount of copies. But with the digital age, there's not a need for that anymore. Everybody just downloads it. So why would you pre-order something that you know is going to be available on the launch day? There's an impossibility of you not being able to download the game unless like the servers go down. So there's no need to pre-order anymore. So without that, we've kind of shifted towards like a wish list economy, and wish listing has become the new pre-ordering for that reason. While many consumers have begun turning their backs on pre-ordering games, wishlisting may become the new metric for gauging sales interests. And that's exactly it. The idea is if you get a lot of wishlists, you have a more likelihood of selling a copy. Plus, you can take those numbers and show them to your investors and be like, hey, 1 million people wishlisted this game. That means on average, if half of them buy it, we're going to make this amount of money. 100 million people wishlisted it. This is going to be the biggest release of the summer. Those are tangible numbers that you can show to investors, and that's why they want to push these up. That's the only reason. That's why they're giving people rewards. They wouldn't give you free stuff if it didn't mean that they were getting something in return. Obviously, the only game I ever pre-ordered was Starfield. It's exactly what I mean. Pre-ordering is such a scam. Every time you do it, you get burned. So that's why people don't do it. Never again. Exactly. That's exactly why pre-ordering doesn't work and why it's dying. Because people have been burnt from it too many times. The literal definition of flopped games. I know. I pre-ordered the 2 worst games. I mean, both of them, turned out to be good in the end. It's crazy. Like, both of them came back, but man, I would be lying if I told you that they launched in good states. Anyways, I really wanted to rant about this. This is one of the things that I was most passionate about, because it's a trend I've been seeing very, very commonly, especially with indie games. Indie games, their entire bread and butter are wish lists. By the way, Wishlist Infinium down below. You can see it right below the stream here. If you go down, you just click on this right here. It takes you right to the Steam page. Go ahead and wishlist this bad boy. Anyways. Or if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description. Go ahead and give me a wish list. It literally is like it's like liking and subscribing for game developers. It's the most important thing about it. Anyways, moving on to the next story. We're going to talk even more about gaming in the industry and how it's changing with AI and how it's shaping gaming. With the advent of artificial intelligence, has come many ways to optimize game development. Studios like Activision, Ubisoft, and Sony have all invested heavily into producing games quicker using AI. I think Sony was even saying that they had used voice line syncing using AI. They were able to sync voice lines and also increase the or decrease the amount of time it takes to localize a game. Changing it into different languages using AI. And what do you think they do with all the savings? I mean, if they make a game 20% quicker, that means that it's going to cost 20% less money. Where does that money go? Does it get passed on to the consumer? Well, despite this, the savings are not being passed on to the consumer. In fact, games have only increased in price to $70 or even more for special editions. Some of them, like the gold editions, will go for $100. Some of them go for $120. If you want to get the super amazing pre-order bonus steel case with a fucking figurine, it's gonna be $150 to $250, and that's a lot of money. Some people, that's an entire day's worth of wage. Some people, that's 2 days worth of wage. And it turns out that the savings that these companies are making, these big studios, are instead being used to fund larger marketing campaigns. It turns out when they find that they free up a budget, they put the rest of it into a marketing campaign, which is oftentimes more expensive than the actual game costs to make. Crazy. So yeah, that's kind of a net L, but the bright side is this also works in favor of indie games. So indie games can also use AI technology in order to, almost make a game feel like it's being made by many people when it's made by maybe one people. So I don't know. We'll see. And you know what? I think that indie developers are more likely to pass on the savings to the consumer. I mean, I am making a game alone, and I occasionally use AI. I don't use it too often because I like to really do things myself. Like, all the writing in it is made entirely by me. Occasionally I'll use AI to help me come up with names. I'm like, can you give me name ideas for a war chieftain who's got a scar on his face, and it'll give me cool names like Scario or something. No, but occasionally I'll do that. Or one thing I've found really helpful is I'll use AI to generate textures. That is so helpful to me. I can use AI and I can generate a leather texture or a paper texture, and I can put it into Photoshop, stretch it out, and make it seamless, and I can make a notebook that your character is writing in and stuff like that. I think those are really good uses for AI. So yeah, I could see this being a great tool for indie developers, and I think that they'll use it more responsibly than these big studios. Anyways, moving on again. I think this is our final story. Epic lawsuit with Samsung ends. It's not an Epic lawsuit, it's the Epic Games lawsuit. Let's make that clear. Epic received an epic win this... I didn't even to say... It doesn't say that there. I added the second Epic. Epic received a win this week in their fight against Apple, Google, and Samsung over their platforms not allowing external downloads that are not through their official stores. This comes after a win against Google in an antitrust suit and against Apple, forcing both to change their rules. If you guys haven't been following, this all started initially due to aggressive fees on Fortnite purchases, specifically V-Bucks, while blocking users on all three platforms from either downloading the game without their store page or trying to pay off the mobile platform to avoid the fees. So the way that this works is that if you publish a game on the Apple Store, any transactions being done in that app have to go through the Apple Store. So if I make a game where you can buy some premium currency in it, Apple gets 30% of that. So if you want to donate to me, if you want to donate to the development of the game through the app, Apple gets a 30% cut. I think this even works with like DoorDash and stuff. It's crazy. And the idea is that Apple gets this cut and there's nothing you can do about it. What Epic tried to do is they go, hey, it costs this much, which is 30% more for V-Bucks on the app. But if you go on the website, then you can pay for it without paying that extra 30%. Because they just passed the cost on to the consumers, because why wouldn't they? And Apple saw that, they got word of that, and they said no. And they banned Fortnite from the store because that broke their rules. You're not allowed to circumvent it by allowing people to pay off of the app. Spotify does the same thing. You're actually not allowed to buy Spotify through the app. You have to do it on the website, because if you do it through the app, you're giving money to Apple, which is also the competitor, the most tense competitor to Spotify. There's Apple Music and there's Spotify, and I mean, if you don't see a problem with that, then you're not paying attention. So unfortunately, that's been the way that it's working. But fortunately, Epic is saying, no, 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 we're going to sue you. And honestly, Epic could have probably gotten a good deal. Other companies have gotten deals. I'm sure Amazon has a deal where they don't have to give Apple 30% of their cut. But Epic said, you know, I'm not gonna try to get some backdoor deal to make it profitable for me. I'm going to sue you for everybody. So they changed the rules for everybody, which is amazing. And I actually think this is a huge win. This should have been one of the wins. But yeah, you know, congratulations to Epic. Epic's been actually using the law for good a lot lately. They also recently, I think it was last week or the week before, we talked about how they sued a cheater in their tournaments. And then they sued him for like $70,000 or something like that, or like 100, like a crazy amount of money. He had only stolen $6,000 from cheating. He's going tournament to tournament using cheats to win them and win all the money. But they took all the money that they won from him in court and they're donating it to like a children's fund, like a charity, which is such a W. Anyways, that's it for our gaming news. Let's go on to our pro tip of the week, and that is jump into a new skill, guys. Welcome in. Hi, Becca Lee. Wait, Becca Lee. Becca Lee. Wait, we've talked before. You're not new here. You haven't been here for a minute. Welcome in. The last time you chatted was October 6th, 2024. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good time. Get ready. Yup. Broccoli. Broccoli. That's true. Anyways, my pro tip for this week is to jump into a new skill. And the quote for today is, I am always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. And that's from Winston Churchill. I wanted to talk about this because this week I started learning how to play the bass guitar. Ooh, this cool rocker boy over here. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't think I had time. After a while, so much time had passed that I would have probably mastered it by now if I started when I first wanted to. It turned out to be something that I really liked, and I'm good at it so far. So don't wait to start learning something later. Start learning the skills you want to be good at now, so that maybe years later from now, you can look back at how good you've gotten. Even if it's just a little bit of time here and there, working towards a new skill is never not rewarding. Honestly, my favorite memories in life are when I tried really hard at a skill and I succeeded. That rush you feel when you're like, I get it. Oh my gosh, like I've learned something. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. Bass, good to know. Master Baser. Oh man, no, the bot, no! Master Baser strikes again with the legendary Keck W moments. Can't wait for this week in gaming to kick off. It's already kicked off, you stupid bot. But yeah, speaking of the bass, we are all about that bass over here, and I actually have it, and it's plugged in. It's been plugged in this whole time, and I've just been waiting to talk about it so I could play it for you guys. It is so cool. This thing is here. Let's let me push the chair out of the way. Get out of here. Let me try to give you a little bit of a. Can we push you a little bit further? How's the green screen looking? it's looking a little bit. It's been better. So, I've learned a few songs. One of my favorites is "The President Has a Sex Tape" by K-Flay. It kind of goes like this. I can get a little bit better, but still learning. I started playing last Tuesday, so it hasn't even been a full week. Let's see if I can do the "Carry On My Wayward Son." That sounds awful. It's meant for guitar. I can play guitar, but I'm still new at bass. And then there's the that doesn't sound right. I've been trying to see some things that I can play on bass. There's this, I think that sounds right. Nah, it doesn't sound right. Let's go down. Yeah. You're so cute. Wow, nice. So that's what I heard earlier. Yeah, did you hear it? I probably hit it a little bit. Play Thunderstruck? Oh shit. I can do a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers. What the fuck's that song called? What the fuck is that called? Uh Dark Necessities. Dark necessities are part of my design. Whoop. Sorry, I have to kind of go down here a little bit. I have to put my hand around this bad boy. It really fucks up my wrist. I'm better when I'm not playing in front of people, but it goes like that, and you go. Kind of like that. You're supposed to like slap it. Maybe I should turn down the. Sorry, this is really loud. I'll turn down the gain. It's a little bit much when I start slapping it with the gain up. Ugh. Ah! Okay. My pinky's dying, as you can hear. Yeah, that's how you do it. That wasn't too bad. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're doing something. We're moving. We're schmoving. And I also learned this bass line, which is like. I just realized that this is all going on YouTube, and I'm wasting so much time. I'm sorry, guys. I'll just finish it up with this bridge. That's not the notes. It's. There we go. Cool. But yeah, it's fun, dude. I really like the bass guitar. I've been playing it every day since I got it. And that is why you should try new things. That's why you need to try new things. Because sometimes you do a new thing and you just go, wow, this is really fun. I like it a lot. And oh my gosh, the green screen is caught around my computer chair. Oh, oh, this is a nightmare. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hang on. Oh, don't look behind the curtain. Anyways, that's about it, but let's look at some of our community awards. First, we have Clarence. Like how his name gets worse every week. Clarence Ultimate Frisbee Game. Yeah, right. All right. So Claren made this really cool Ultimate Frisbee game for fuck's sake in Unreal Engine. Yeah, I have an Instagram. It's called The Anthony Dude. I made it when I was like I made it when I was like 14, maybe 13. uh this is my Instagram if you guys want to follow. I'm in this? Are you? Did you play this? Did he get the multiplayer working? But yeah, he's been making this ultimate frisbee game, which I don't think has ever existed. I don't think anybody in the world is like, ultimate frisbee needs a game. But congratulations to him. He did this pretty quickly. He's really good at making little projects, little prototypes. You're not in this. I recorded it after. Oh, okay, okay. Ultimate frisbee with parkour. That's gonna be sick, actually. Anyways, moving on, we have a second highlight. This one's going out to Kezi's Rebirth project. So if you guys don't remember, Kezi started a project that was supposed to be a Fable-inspired RPG, but unfortunately, it fucking died. He lost all of the files. All the files got deleted. It doesn't exist anymore. It has been purged from reality. That is probably the worst thing that can happen to a game dev, but he's taken it in stride, and he's already started a new project. And here, let's take a look at it. I'm going to skip a little bit. As you can see, the time's going by really quickly. He has it set to go by really fast, and he has a calendar system. Would you look at that? He's got different Iron Day, Ember Day, of Frostwane, Gold Day, Soul Day, Dark Eve. He's got his own little lore-based calendar system, which is if you don't know, I also have my own lore-based calendar system, so I thought that was really cute. And then it says 100 NE. I don't know what the lore is behind that, but he's got like different months and I'm assuming years, which is really cool. Been there, yeah. Kieran also lost all of his project files. I will follow. Can you follow me back? I followed you on Instagram. It depends. It depends on if you're weird or not, but I'll probably follow you back. If I find out you're a bot, I'm not gonna follow you though. I've had bots do that. Not saying that you are, but here's also a look at the guild treasury. He's got guild gold, and then he's got it looks like you can like move gold in and out of the treasury. So I don't know if this is gonna be multiplayer or what. I probably wouldn't make it multiplayer. Just saying, that's a recipe for a lot of pain. A lot of pain. I changed the use from NE to AH. Starts on 1 AH, Age of the Hero. That's so cute. um, what is this? What are all these raycasts? Wait, what did you purchase? Oh, is this like housing? What? Are you building a housing system? Make a room. Guild stats. Beds, food, storage, guild members, guild gold. What? Dude, that's sick. Dude, that's so cool. I really like the thing that I like about what you make is everything you make is really in the spirit of Fable. Like I can tell you're a huge Fable fan by all of the like the way that you just feel almost like what's the like your what's the word? Not anticipation. It's like you're very aspiring for like that's not the word I'm looking for, but you aspire to make things that are like pushing boundaries. And that's what Fable always felt like it was. Like they were just doing something that other people didn't do that would like make sense in a real life. Like if you were to go into a fantasy world, what kind of things would you want to do? Would you want to start a guild? Would you want to like build a guild hall and like have like finances that you take care of and like, people that you can manage? Like that's a really cool idea. And it takes a really specific type of mind to do that. Am I in the highlights? You didn't make anything parsable. What do you mean? This is to show off people's works. Or like if you drew something for the stream, I might include it. Thanks for the glaze. No, it's true. I really I think it's cool because you and I have very similar minds. Like our projects are very similar in that we want to make RPGs that have mostly just housing systems. You and I are both just obsessed with being able to make money in an RPG. I think we both have that in common. Clip. I don't show clips here, but I do. I do have a plan for that in the future. I do want to make a compilation of all my favorite clips because I've been going through them and some of them are really, really funny. Anyways, bye YouTube. Check out the streams every Sunday at 3 p.m. if you want. Link down in the description. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.